I want to talk about slowing things down. So, if you've ever done yoga or you've ever done like some sort of like exercise class, they always kind of talk about this breathing technique, focusing on your breath, on your movement, making sure that you're doing the right move, that you're not in an awkward place, that you're not lifting weights awkwardly, that you're looking where you're going to go. So, how does that stuff relate to everyday life, everyday tasks, whether it's being productive, making sure that you're cooking food for yourself at the right times, making sure that you're scheduling everything you need to get done in a day, making sure that you're staying on top of your work at your job. How can you use these like weird little things from exercising in these situations? Well, I've kind of found that like at work, I'll get really wrapped up in a project. I'll be trying the same thing over and over again. I'll try to just constantly use the same technique over and over again. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to solve a problem really fast. And there's a lot to be said about slowing things down. So not slowing things down to the point where you stop and you walk away, because that's something that a lot of people recommend. I think that's helpful when it comes to studying or doing something on your own. But when you're at work or you're trying to make a schedule, you can't just stop and walk away from that. So how can you kind of just silence all the noise and get what you need to get done? I really think that focusing on your breath when you're trying to do something, if you find yourself getting frustrated, if you find yourself not being able to push forward in something, focus on your breath and really concentrate on how your body is physiologically responding to the situation. Because I found that like I'll be trying to, I'll be trying to put a key in a door or something. I'll get frustrated. I'm like, I gotta get inside my house. I have to get this done. What am I gonna do? I need to get in there. And I'm like, wait, what? Why? Like I just got home. There's nothing crazy going on. It's not like there's someone trying to stab me. Like I'm just trying to get in my house. So rather than freaking out and like yanking on my door all the time, this happened to me this morning. Just stop, breathe. I'm like, okay, just take a second, look at the stupid lock and realize that I just kind of push my key forward a little bit more. It's going to unlock the door just fine. And so that can be applied to a lot of other situations. So if you're at work, for example, I write code for a living. That's what I do. I'll be working on a problem and I'm trying to do the same thing over and over again. So in code, you're always printing out the same value over and over again, trying to print it out like, oh man, this line's not working. So what do you do if you're constantly printing out the same thing and you're not making any progress? Well, just stop. Think about why you're doing what you're doing. How is that actually going to help you? Grab a piece of paper. I mean, my mind can only handle maybe 3 or 4 things at a time. I watched this documentary about some mathematician who said he wrote everything down. So here we have this genius mathematician writing everything down. Meanwhile, us, average people, we're just like, oh, I'll be able to get this. I'll be able to juggle 100 things in my head. No, just grab a piece of paper. Slow it down. Grab a piece of paper and write down what you're trying to do, how you're going to do it, and where the problem is. So today's podcast and vlog is really related to slowing things down. How can you slow things down? What are some techniques that you can use to slow things down, regain, firm ground, and start making progress? Okay, so number 1 is take note of your breathing. How are you physiologically reacting to the situation? Are you overwhelming yourself? Are you breathing really heavy? Okay, so get that under control first. Get your heart rate under control so you can think clearly, because when your body is in an elevated state of stress, you're just not going to be able to perform as well as you would if you're calm and collected. Okay, next thing. Think about the problem and just stop. Think about the problem, what you're trying to do, and how you need to solve it. Because more often than not, we're focused on what's stressing us out rather than what we're trying to accomplish. So, number 1, focus on your breathing. Number 2, stop, think about the problem. 3, get like an outside verification of what you're trying to do, whether that is talking to a friend about a problem or writing it down on a piece of paper and rereading it to yourself. Because sometimes I think that things are kind of written out in a certain way in my head, and then I'll grab a pen and I'll write it down on a piece of paper. I'm like, wait, that's not it at all. Okay, because that's led to me actually like drawing out maps of stuff that I'm trying to work on. That's led to me writing down lists of things I need to get done and realizing that there's other things that kind of depend on each other and I can get it done more efficiently after. And I've come to that realization after I've written it down. So The first thing is to focus on your breathing, stop and think about what you're trying to get done, and then get some outside verification, whether that be from talking to another person or writing it down on a piece of paper. So I really hope that these tips are useful, because I found that slowing things down can really help you progress faster. It seems like in the moment, like everything has to be rushed, but if you just take a second to slow it down and you use your time more efficiently, you're going to get a better output. And that comes back, that's actually a physics equation. Power is energy over time. So the more energy that you spend over a longer period of time, the less power, or the more time that you spend on a particular problem, the less power you're going to get out of it. So I don't know, if you want to think about it in like some weird physics way, you can think about it as the power equation, energy over time. But I don't know, I think that there's a lot to be said about slowing things down. So I hope that you find this advice useful, and if you like this, I'm always putting out a video Monday through Friday, just practical advice all the time, real tips that like you can actually use. Thank you for watching and listening.